Hello, this is Tim. Welcome to my platform. Welcome to my little, I don't know what you call these, little lessons. This month I'm reading from The Making of America. Okay, Time Life Books put this out. Back when weekly magazines were really good. And we're reading about building a capital city. And so we did the first part. Now I'm going to do the second part. I'm in a different room. I'm not going to show my shirt because it has a curse on it. I want to get banned. Uh, Whatever its political genesis, the decision to create a capital city from scratch presented the young nation with a mighty opportunity, the chance to construct in a stone city equal to the far-reaching visions of the country's founders. And George Washington knew just the right man for the job, Major Pierre Charles L'Enfant, who had served under the general in the war. In 1789, or in a 1789 letter to the new president, the French artist and architect described his vision of such a city. The plan should be drawn on such a scale as to leave room for the aggrandizement and embellishment which the increase of the wealth of the nation will permit it to pursue at any period, however remote. Washington hired L'Enfant, uh, who set to work laying out a grid for the new federal city, a 100 square mile plot along the Potomac. His design featured a standard grid of streets with a promising twist. Broad avenues would dissect the grid at diagonals, converging on traffic circles and creating a series of dramatic lengthy vistas. The plan's two most dominant buildings would be erected on the focal points of the terrain: a Congress House on the area's highest point, Jenkins Hill, and a President's Palace some 1.5 miles away, also on a hill. The two would be connected by one of L'Enfant's 160 feet wide avenues. Sadly, L'Enfant disappointed his old commander. He proved ineffectual and had to be dismissed in 1792. The surveying and plotting of the new city were completed by civil engineer Andrew Ellicott, assisted by the African American mathematical genius Benjamin Banneker. With L'Enfant out of the picture, the government held a competition to design the Capitol building, and the $500 prize was won by a Scottish physician, William Thornton. His plan called for an immense building with two rectangular wings connecting by a central dome. A later architect, Benjamin Latrobe, scaled down the size of the building, but with more than 500 rooms, it remains immense. The structure was long in construction. Its great dome was still taking shape during the Civil War. As for L'Enfant's President's Palace, Republican sentiment rechristened it the Executive Mansion, and after it was built, it came to be called the White House, just as the federal city was christened Washington, D.C., after the first president's death. L'Enfant's original idea called for a palatial structure 5 times bigger than the one that was finally built, but with Thomas Jefferson and others urging restraint, a scaled down design created by an Irish architect, James Holborn, prevailed. George Washington, ever the commander, bullied its construction through. Early on, the District of Columbia commissioners shut down a brothel operating among the shacks of the workers building the mansion. Vehement protests from carpenters and stone carvers produced yet another compromise. The establishment was allowed to reopen discreetly in another part of the raw town. Always an underground economy. You're going to see a lot of that coming up, especially sex work, unfortunately. John Adams was the first president to occupy the structure. He moved into the unfinished home early in 1801 during the last 3 months of his term. Alone on his second night, writing a letter to Abigail, he pondered the fate of the new dwelling and its future occupants. I pray heaven to bestow the best of blessings on this house, and on all that shall hereafter inhabit it, he wrote. May none but honest and wise men ever rule under this roof. Franklin Roosevelt had the words carved into the marble mantel on the state dining room 145 years later, and Adams' powerful words still resonate in American hearts. Well, it ain't in their heads, and I'm not sure it's in their hearts either, because we haven't had wisdom in the White House for decades. Um, Here we go. The Making of America. I want to thank you for supporting me, and remember to please take care of your minds, take care of your bodies, and be safe.